I was got this weekend by jet passing. I will show you how I have receipts. Diggs fires that thing into the group text, says big baseball news. I see your beautiful face, your name, bang, click on it. Here we go. Something I didn't think was going to happen happened in that tweet, which was why I should have known. They said that the MLB and the MLB PA come together for an agreement. That seems like that's nowhere in sight at this point. Am I accurate in saying that, Jeff?
You are very accurate in saying that. And the problem is at this point, the two sides are just so far apart and there's so little time if they actually want to get a season done that they have a lot. I mean, put it this way. If we're going to do like a football analogy, it's not like they're on the 1 yard line and they have 99 yards to go with a minute left.
Okay.
They are both like in their own respective tunnels and locked right now. And they are like, it's that far apart and there's no daylight, but there's also no time, which makes this so extraordinarily difficult.
Okay, so it feels like the players pitched 114 game season. I think their financial push is going to be, we just want our prorated contract. So that's why they're pushing for more games, because obviously with a proration of more games, you get more money. And am I accurate in saying that? And are the team owners going to give in on that at all?
I think the team owners actually may be more likely to give them the proration or close to it. I don't know if full proration is a possibility at all, but close to it, the fewer games they get. I almost wonder if the clubs are going to come back to them and say, you know what, forget 114 games, forget 82 games. Let's do 65 games or something like that at a higher salary. But the problem with that is if you're doing a shorter season, either you got to start it in early July and do your playoffs in like mid-September to mid-October, or you run the risk of running into the NBA, the NHL, soccer, the NFL, and college football. And you, like, these months that baseball is used to having all to itself suddenly have become the domain of all of these other sports. And there's the possibility that it's going to get absolutely cannibalized.
They're going to get lost in the shuffle for sure. And the conversation around baseball people, you big baseball guy, jet passing big baseball guy, Ty Schmidt, big baseball guy, is that this could be catastrophic for the league if they don't have a season. I don't see it that way. I don't think it'll be that catastrophic. I think a lot of people in America, because their attention will be taken by other sports, including golf too. You forget golf is even going to be in there, and the AFL. I think if they were to come back next year, I think people would be like, oh, baseball's back. Like, it's almost like a more of a celebration. How much money do the teams lose if we don't have a season? And is it looking like that's probably going to be the case?
I mean, the teams say that they're going to lose $4 billion if there's not a season.
That's a lot of billions.
It is a lot of billions. And the thing is, though, they're also claiming that they're going to lose possibly even more money if they play and if players get their full prorated salaries. So this is just, here's the problem, Pat. And I understand your sentiment here, just bang the season all together, come back next year, fresh start. But if they lose the season this year, they didn't lose it because of fear over coronavirus. They didn't lose it because of civil unrest around the country. They lost it because they couldn't figure out how to split up some billions of dollars, man. And that is the thing that sticks in the craw of people for a long time. If amid this catastrophic unemployment, if amid all of the issues that we've got in the country right now, something that could unify people, could give people something to look forward to, does not happen because they can't figure out the money part of it, I think that is the kind of thing that long-term absolutely crushes baseball in the minds of fans out there who have been looking forward to it coming back.
I think that's the diehard fans, right? The diehard fans that go to games, the diehard fans that watch every single game, the diehard fans who buy the merch. Those fans seeing every other league get done, every other league be able to figure out the NBA with bigger superstars, the same amount of cash basically being thrown around, they figured it out. The NFL, they're able to figure it out. NASCAR's able to figure it out. Motocross is able to figure it out. AFL is able to figure it out. Golf's able to figure it out. But for some reason, the sport that I spend spend my time loving. And people bash me for liking the MLB because it's a boring sport that's too long and not exciting enough, but it's my thing. If they're the league that can't figure it out, I could see how that person could be very upset for a long time.
And Pat, if you lose your diehards, who do you have?
Bingo. It's why if you're a bar, you need regulars, pal. Let's go ahead. Let's get the regulars in here.
That's right. And here's the thing. Right now, the regulars are being fed well liquor when they're asking for top shelf stuff. No, they are. And they're looking at this right now saying, okay, guys, enough messing around. Like, we just want baseball back on the field. Please figure this out, not just for the sake of yourselves, but for the sake of the fans who need something. Like, I'm sorry, 2020 sucks right now.
That's pretty bad.
Every regard possible, 2020 has been a mess. All we want is a little bit of baseball. We're not asking for too much here, guys. We're asking for you to bring the game back onto the field so for 3 hours a night, we can divorce ourselves from this reality of suctitude and go into this alternate universe where life is okay because there's a game being played. And I hope that the owners, in their thirst for money, power, and wealth, I hope for the players in their thirst for what they feel is equitable, which is, in this case, also money, power, and wealth, somehow find a happy medium where they can give the people what they want. That's what you're here for. Give the people what they want.
That's not going to happen with the owners, though. We know that. Look at the Nationals owner. The Nationals owner is worth $5 billion or something like that and just cut the paychecks of the minor league people who didn't even have a season already losing money. Now the Nationals players are like, okay, we'll put a fund together to pay our guys, I guess. It's just anytime you deal with those billionaire business people, they don't have a single ounce of not all of them, obviously. There's different billionaires and things like that. But a large portion of billionaires in the business world get up there because they show no empathy to any. I have no idea how they do it. I have no clue how it exists. I have no clue how you sleep at night. I guess, well, you sleep on a comfortable pile of money. It still doesn't make any sense to me. So what are the next steps that we got, Jeff? What are the next steps here? Because the MLBPA, the proposal that they just sent over to the MLB was an answer to a proposal that the MLB sent over, but they said, we're not even talking about that. Will the MLB do the same exact thing that the MLBPA just did and said, you know what, let's not try to adjust what you just said like you just did to our MLB proposal. We'll send you back another one. Are those the next steps, and are those currently happening right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's conversations going on right now, and I think the baseball season, Pat, hangs in the balance this week. It really, to me, depends on how the owners respond to this proposal, because there were a couple of things in this proposal that were little tiny gives that the players had, not big ones that are going to get a deal done. I mean, this thing's it's outright rejected already. But the two things that I saw, number one, players were not on board with the idea of expanded playoffs when MLB floated it back in February, or when it was first reported back in February. You know, expanding from 10 to 14, you're going to get, this playoff selection show. There's all sorts of different elements to it. Players were not down with that. Players in this proposal said, not only will we accept expanded playoffs, but we will take it for 2 years now.
Oh, look at that. Hey.
Good guys.
So that's a little give.
I
think the second part, though, is the most important one. And from the start, I've been talking about the potential path to a compromise being through deferred money. Now, deferrals are something that happen in baseball all the time. Max Scherzer, deferred money. Chris Davis, deferred money. Scott Boras, the author of so many of these big contracts,
Bobby Bonilla.
and somebody who has been an integral part of these negotiations, is like the king of deferred money in baseball. So players have no leg to stand on about deferred money being a bad thing. What they offered in this deal was, if there is no postseason this year, if because of COVID-19 the playoffs get canceled because the second wave comes and hits, then the owners can get $100 million back from players And that's funded by guys whose salaries are $10 million or more per season.
Look at this.
So
this
that,
feels like
that money, would be taken and deferred until 2021 and 2022. Now, it's a conditional deferral. It's a tiny deferral compared to the money that we're talking about here. But what it does is it opens the door for discussions about further deferrals, and that is where progress might get made.